Welcome to the Vault XL. This is live number 2. Thank you for your time. I did not expect to come back on this soon, but naturally, this case pertaining to Nancy Guthrie just goes on and on with updates. I'm very agitated at this latest developments coming out of Arizona. And you know I'm going to give Mr. Nanos, whatever the hell your name is, I'm going to give your ass the business during this live stream. Thank you for joining. This is messed up. One second.
Department has blocked key evidence to the FBI. We're talking about a glove found inside Nancy Guthrie's house along with some DNA. The FBI wanted that evidence so they could take it, analyze it themselves, send it to Quantico to get some faster return. The Sheriff's Department decided to keep that evidence, send it to a private analyst firm in Florida. So clearly that is not going to help the relationship here between the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff, which we know in the early going has been tense at best. You talked about this 2-mile radius. We're talking video, right? Not only is it just a 2-mile radius, but they're now very specific in telling the people who live in the Catalina foothills that what they want here is they want cars that are parked. They want video of cars driving by, people walking by. Anything that seems to be out of the ordinary, they would like that. And they've actually widened the window. We were talking about specific dates, February 1st and January 11th. Now they want video, Jesse, from January 1st to February 2nd, which is interesting because Feb 2nd is a day after Nancy Guthrie disappeared.
Let me interject here. Sheriff, why do you want any of this video footage? Who's going to analyze it? Who the hell is going to analyze it? So you're just using the FBI for what you want to use them for, such as the digital blueprint of your city and your county. Because if you are this low down and spiteful to take this evidence and send it to Florida when you can get it done quicker at Quantico, you will do the same for any other digital evidence. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. There is a woman missing, sir. And I've tried to be very diplomatic in not saying anything negative about you, because I knew, and I know rather, what's on your plate trying to solve this crime. But if you motherfuckers will get your thumbs out your asses and quit stargazing, how about that? Stop stargazing and worrying about the fucking sky and the stars. You could get this damn case solved. You said, I don't mind the FBI helping. But now you want to take DNA in a glove and send it to Florida. Are you all hearing this? I couldn't even get 1 hour of rest before having to come back on live because of this stupid ass sheriff. You are being spiteful at the expense of a woman who's possibly dead. Maybe that's why you don't give a fuck, because you know she ain't alive. How about that? How about that? That was this. Is that what this is about? She ain't living no way. Don't worry about it. You mad because what? People are talking bad about you because you went to the basketball game? Well, Queen never said nothing bad about you. I tried to keep my opinions to myself about the basketball game and this investigation. But this right here, sir, is low rent. This is some low down, low rent SHIT. You need your little hiney whooped. Let's just hope don't nobody push your fucking door in. How about that? Yeah, I said it. Let's hope nobody pushes your damn door in. Sitting on the camera, acting like you want to cry. And this is how you pay respect to Nancy Guthrie? This is how you pay respect to her children? This is how you pay respect to the Sheriff's Department, the FBI, and the community you're going to block the FBI from taking the evidence and getting it processed quicker. But it's okay to use them to do all the digital work and all the blueprint for that. Oh, they good for that. And you're a piece of shit.
They would like video like we talked about where the TMZ video that came to them with a man who had backpacks and looked like he was trying to open a fence and set one backpack down. Reports are that evidence, that person has been cleared, but that is the type of unusual, odd video that the FBI would love to be able to go over because they think it is very pivotal. We spoke to some neighbors around here, and the neighbors tell us, Jesse, that what they were asked for is actually to give the FBI, to give the county sheriffs some idea of the cars that they own, the cars that they drive. It's kind of, the process of elimination so they can get an idea of what cars are driving in and out of this area all the time and what cars are not known to be driving in and out of this area all the time. So we should kind of give you an idea of, the time frame. We were hoping that we'd have more information on video that came from inside the house, around the side of the house, the back of the house.
Exactly.
We believe,
I
believe there is more video available. The question is, when will we get a chance to see anything that might have come out of that, pulling that information from the cloud? Yes.
Trace, you mentioned the glove that I guess there's a turf war over between the sheriff and the FBI. Was that the glove that was found on the side of the road, or are you talking about a different glove?
It's a different glove. This is a glove that was actually inside the
Hot damn.
house of Nancy Guthrie.
Hot damn.
We don't know who the glove belonged to. We don't know if it was a random glove, but
well, it don't belong to Michael Jackson. How about that? Oh, I'm hot butter. I'm hot butter tonight, everybody. Don't pay me no mind. I don't know who the glove belongs to. Well, it don't belong to Michael Jackson and don't belong to Prince. Who the hell you think it belonged to? And guess what, Sheriff? If it wasn't for the FBI, you wouldn't have found the first glove. How about that? Hello, Anne-Marie. You would not have found the first glove if it wasn't for the FBI being out there. And guess what, everybody? They found glove number 2. That's why I'm live. Glove number 2 has been found in this house. It's believed to be the glove. So they're doing their damn job. I don't care what nobody says. The FBI is doing their damn job. I don't want to hear nobody say nothing bad about the FBI. Not one bad thing.
There was a glove inside the house that is now being analyzed at a private firm in Florida, and the FBI wanted that glove to be analyzed at Quantico in Virginia. So DNA inside the house and a glove
stroke out of here.
Unknown who it belongs to or what the context is of the glove, but a glove that was also inside the house. All right, Trace, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
Call the sheriff. Ask him who the fuck the damn glove belonged to. How about that? I cannot believe we are approaching 2 weeks. And this is the stunt this little sawed-off fucker wants to pull. Is it because everybody on YouTube and the news are talking about there's no direction? People don't know who's in charge. So you get an attitude. You're mad because they were talking bad about you going to the basketball game. So when it's time to give us a press conference, what you gonna do? Go hide? What you gonna do? Tell the FBI they can't show up? Hello, Vicky. I am pissed off because there's a woman who is out there who needs to be retrieved. And you're sitting up here trying to see who balls hang the longest, going back and forth with the FBI. Now, what if the FBI said, fuck it, we'll go back to where we come from. Let him do all the work on his own. Let him analyze all the video, the cloud, everything. Just the FBI say, fuck it, we'll pack our suitcase up and get the fuck out. We'll still be talking about Mrs. Guthrie next year, 27. Hot damn. News update. News update. $100,000 reward by the FBI. Oh, Mr. Sheriff, crybaby sheriff, you didn't offer up a reward. The FBI did. How about that? $100,000. Where's your money? While you sitting up here playing ping pong in your tutu. Yeah, I said it. Let me tell you something. If I was Savannah Guthrie and these relatives, when this case is finally over with, I wouldn't look back at Tucson for shit. I wouldn't give a damn about Tucson, Arizona. Did you hear what I said? Don't call me. Don't ask me to come talk. Do nothing. I wouldn't even look back at that little dusty ass city. And sheriff, FYI, see if you have a job next term. How about that? Yes, he let his ego get in the way. And that's what's so crazy, Bonnie. Yesterday, somebody was talking bad about him and his ego. I never uttered a word. I was just listening to the content because I'm trying not to get, saying anything bad about any law enforcement. And you have not heard me say anything negative about the sheriff or the FBI on this live since I've been talking about this case. But today, I don't give a fuck because this is some low-down shit he has done. You could have sent it to the lab up here in Oak Ridge. That's what we do up here. We analyze DNA. You didn't have to even send it to Quantico. You didn't want to send it to Quantico. You could have sent it to ORNL, National Lab. National. We are the government up here. For those of you who do not know where I live. I live near a nuclear town where the first bomb was built. Secret City is what it's called, Oak Ridge, Tennessee. This is where the lab sent Casey Anthony's DNA up here. So they could have sent it over here. I'm so fucking pissed off I can scream. I'm done with this. Let this be my last conversation about this because I'm very pissed off right now. Because it don't make no damn sense. We're going to hear from a former law enforcement about this bullshit. Excuse my language, but I'm pissed off because this man ought to be ashamed of himself. It's an arrogant son of a bitch, and God don't like ugly. Let's see who solves it. Let's see who solves this crime. How about that? Fox News is the source, everybody.
Near Nancy Guthrie's home. This is the very new stuff now. This, as sources confirm, the FBI is processing a set of gloves found about a mile and a half from her house. Lieutenant Randy Sutton joins us now. He served 24 years with the Las Vegas Metropolitan PD. He joins us live outside of Pima County Sheriff's Office in Tucson. Randy, your take on what they're looking
in her house, yes.
What prompted them to go there at night? What could you maybe infer from this?
Well, in a sense, it shows how desperate they are to literally turn over every stone on this investigation. They are looking for anything, and the reality is that this is very difficult terrain. When you're looking at the wide scope of this search, I mean, it encompasses miles and miles, and with the hope that they will be able to recover something that might have been discarded. Now, I caution about the.
No, Anne Marie, he's just cocky and arrogant.
Has arisen from the discovery
of
these gloves. Is it possible that they're involved? Sure, and they will diligently. The FBI will diligently examine those for DNA and any possibility. They'll be comparing the material from enhanced photographic images that they recover from the video. They'll do anything to either confirm that those possibly might be the gloves, or that this is a non-starter.
Right. Some people have said those gloves, the ones we saw in the video, that might be the ones we found on the ground. They found on the ground, are from the food service business. That might be somebody that works in some type of area.
Well, we're not going to know till they tested Doh-Doh Bird.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I personally believe that those gloves were easily found in any Home Depot or Lowe's, and they are used for plumbing work and things like that. And that there was a set of gloves underneath that. That's my belief.
That's why you have the thicker gloves. So the sheriff hasn't spoken to us in a while. When we get updates just by piecing together different reports and clues and trying to do our own sourcing, how do you think this is working with the FBI and sheriff, the coordination, the leadership? How is it viewed inside from your contacts?
So sad.
That's a great question, because this is something that's concerned me from the very beginning. Of course, following this case from the outset, beginning when the sheriff did give his press conferences, the way he gave these press conferences was startling. It was unprofessional. He seemed to be out of his depth, quite honestly. He gave information, then he walked back information, then he said this, he said that. Clearly, under his leadership, the scene was not secured properly. We're now understanding that the FBI wasn't called in until several days later. That the scene itself was compromised. This is bad leadership, and I can tell you this: that I've been on the ground here for like 10 days now, and I've got pretty good sources in the area when it comes down to how this sheriff is viewed. And he is viewed as a vindictive sheriff. That he has, in actuality, gotten rid of some of his most experienced people, including on the homicide team. The homicide team here is they don't get that much experience, because I think last year there were only 5 murders, as opposed to Tucson, which had 50. So to be a homicide detective requires a great deal of time and education, but experience. Well, he got rid of his most experience because he had disciplinary problems or personal problems with them. Same thing with the pilot of the airplane that needed to be up immediately in the search and rescue. He got rid of the pilot and assigned it back to another assignment. He was their pilot. And he is not viewed as an effective leader. He's viewed as a vindictive leader. And we're seeing that, I believe, because he hasn't given a press conference since all of the criticism that arose.
That's what it is.
His other press conferences.
That's what this is about.
This is bad leadership. The people have a right to have some transparency. Yes. Of course, you don't want to give up the leads or anything, but the people have a right to have some confidence in the law enforcement area here.
I keep going back to John Ramsey told me on Sunday, one of his big regrets was not pushing harder to get the FBI more involved early. He just acquiesced and said, do your thing. He says he really regrets not doing that, and we know the death of his daughter was in his own house. Lastly, if there was a Guthrie getaway vehicle, was it caught on a traffic camera anywhere after you saw the doorway video? Do you think, what would you be looking for there? Could that be possible?
Sheriff,
yeah, it is possible, and I think that's why they're looking at every single ounce of video that they can obtain from security cameras in convenience stores to the whatever is out there officially in the government, bulk cans and things like that. So they're looking for anything that could possibly be utilized as a getaway vehicle. And I fully believe that it is out there. He didn't drag that woman out of there and carry her off to Neverland.
Exactly.
The city of Tucson does not have cameras that record moving vehicles, so it's unfortunate. Some people might like that, but it doesn't help here. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Great job. I'm Steve.
Wait a damn minute. Oh my goodness, I'm going to pretend I did not hear this information. They don't have cameras to record cars moving. Are y'all hearing this bullshit? So this man tells us that from his information, Mr. Nanos is vindictive. He called back the pilot who's supposed to be flying overhead to look for Nancy. He's gotten rid of key detectives because of disciplinary and I guess not getting along with them or yada yada yada. Now fast forward to a missing person who's possibly dead. He wants to take the evidence and send it to Florida. So where in Florida might you be sending it to? Walt Disney? Hello, Sky. Yeah, I'm pissed off. It's been a while since I have gotten upset during a live stream, and I need to calm down because I did not expect I would get this angry during a live, but I'm pissed off. Because no matter if it was a baby, 11-year-old, a 50-year-old, we should be near an ending. And what this stupid motherfucker don't seem to understand, without the FBI, you wouldn't have found Carlos. You wouldn't have found nothing. Yeah, I said that. You wouldn't have found nothing, nothing, nothing. So while you're sitting up here with your thumb up your ass, crying like a little girl, you need to get it together. There's going to always be scrutiny when it comes to crime, sir. But you need to hold it together. You're acting like a little girl who's gotten her petticoat wet. Oh, mommy, look, my Bobby socks got mud on them. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. When I saw the update tonight, I said, oh my goodness. I said, I can't even get a couple of hours of rest. So let me jump back on to share the good news with the chat. This is sad. Well, you know what, Sheriff? You better hope for your sake that there's no mishap with the United States mail or however this DNA is going to make its way to Florida from Arizona. Because fucking around with you, you're liable to have it pulled in a radio flyer wagon. Or better yet, somebody be riding on a damn donkey down there. This is sad. So let me ask you this, Sheriff. Who is getting ready to continue to do the investigation on the phone data and the pinging and the geofencing? So you just picking and choosing what you want the FBI to do because that looks like that's what's going on here. You want them to just do what the data. You want them to do the data because you don't have the resources for that. So I'll let the FBI do the data and geofencing, but the DNA and the blood and the urine samples and things like that, I'll send it out of town. And we've got some freak sitting back eating Doritos on his couch, laughing at the fact that he's still walking free. Yeah, laughing. Probably ready to break into somebody else's house. Since you all don't like street lamps, you don't like recording cars in traffic, he's probably preparing for his next break-in. Why not? And then you have the nerve to say, oh, if you all have any video footage from January 1st on, please forward it. Forward it to whom? Let me tell you something. I would not call this sheriff department for shit. You're liable to get connected to the library. Hold, please. Yes, I'm trying to reach the sheriff department. I have some information pertaining to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Yes, hold please. Then you hold the line. Finally, somebody picks up, and you say, "Oh yes, is this the information line for Nancy Guthrie?" "Oh no, honey, this is the county library." Mm, 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 mm. Oh my goodness. The FBI was nice enough to offer a reward at 50,000. Then they upped it to 100,000. They have kindly offered their services. Even the president offered to send other agents to Arizona. And this is how you show your thanks to the national government. This is how you show your respect for people trying to help you and your little small agency. Well, I'm going to say this, and then we'll get on to my next subject. I pray that nobody else is found missing in this county, and God forbid, deceased, because you're going to be shit out of luck dealing with this little fella here. You're going to be shit out of luck. And if I was Savannah Guthrie and these family members, I would go to him directly, and it would definitely be mafia style. Homeboy, I need to holler at you. Why did you send my evidence from my mama's house to Florida? We are trying to find my mother. We are trying to solve a case, sir. We don't have time for your ego and your attitude. That's my mama out there. It's not your mother. So if you would please step off your little pony and come on down here with the rest of us, and let's take care of this business of finding my mom. Wow. That's all I have to say about that. And I'm sick of hearing about TMZ. I'm tired of hearing about TMZ. And before I check out of here on that subject, because I have another subject to discuss with you all, I'm sick of Harvey and his dream team. What is it that you want to tell us about this last little note? Because the reporter said, well, what was he doing? Trying to threaten somebody because you all won't pay the Bitcoin? Here goes his little puppy dog. No. But how did he word it? I can't remember how he worded it. What is he threatening? Threatening to what? Kill himself? 1 minute you want money, then the next minute you know who did it. The next minute I don't want to implicate myself. I don't want anything to happen. I need money to go underground. I fear retaliation. I don't want to be implicated. You just implicated yourself, you dodo bird. You know about a woman being murdered, kidnapped, but you don't want to incriminate yourself. I never heard of such. It's absolutely ridiculous. Hold on 1 second, everybody. Okay, I'm back. I think it was a neighbor knocking. We're not trying to end up on Dateline. So no company in here. Where was I? Where was I, everybody? Lost my train of thought. I'm frustrated. This is a bad situation. Like I said, he's using the FBI, and I'm going to tell you, this will probably stop the FBI from ever calling a small town offering their services. Vicky says the FBI reward is more than one Bitcoin, so why doesn't he give information to them and they could keep them safe? I think those notes are fake. Yes, they're fake. But my thing is, this is what I was saying. The little black guy that's on TMC, he don't want to tell us what the guy said in the note because the reporter said, well, was he trying to threaten somebody? And he wouldn't tell us. Well, guess what? If he threatened to kill himself, hey, I got the rope. I'll mail it Federal Express. I'm sick of these games. I've watched a lot of true crime since I've been probably a legal adult, and I have never, ever heard of such nonsense. This sounds like some BTK type bullshit. Sending notes, and he's going to the church and using the typewriter and mailing notes, and this is stupid. This is stupid. This fucking sheriff acts like this is a TV show. Honey, this ain't Netflix. This ain't Netflix. This ain't HBO. This ain't Showtime. This ain't Tubi. This ain't Lifetime. This is the real deal. You better get it together, brother. Because you're in sinking sand right now. We don't want the FBI pulling out of here because this case will never get solved. That man will be in somebody else's doorway fucking around with your little ass. Because that's where this is getting ready to go. Just like the news reporters have been saying. This person is watching the news just like these people with this fake Bitcoin. Now they see that the FBI is in an entanglement with the stupid sheriff. This guy's going to say to himself, oh, it'll be a while before they get that damn DNA back on them gloves. Let me go push somebody else's door open. Oh my God. All I can say, if you're in Arizona or anywhere in the United States, baby, you better get you a good security system. You better get one that has an alarm on it. If you are sickly, you better get a life alert. You better wear it around your neck, in the shower, at the grocery store, wherever. Sleep with it on. You need to have your cameras elevated to where a person cannot reach to pull them loose. They need to be high up in the corners of your outside walls and inside walls. You need to have cameras disguised inside of your house. If you're an apartment, condo, trailer, don't matter. Because this is just what this creep needed. You've given him ammunition to say, I thought I was going to sit still for a while. I'm kind of scared. But now that I see the FBI is at odds with the sheriff, I might want to play some more reindeer games for a little bit. Lord have mercy. I give up. This man, I'm going to be quiet. Because I don't need no strikes against my channel. What I really want to say. Jesus help me. I'm going to take you to Pennsylvania. This is a story I've been wanting to talk about for a week now. And once again, the video released of the man trying to reach over the fence with the backpack and has a backpack on. FBI has ruled that video as non-relevant. Okay? Non-relevant. So now we're 2-0. Yahoo News UK is the source. This was uploaded 7 days ago. There's movement in the Bitcoin. Well, they didn't put but $151 in there, honey. A man tragically died after diving into a vat of hot oil at a restaurant and reported suicide. The man, who has not been named, stripped inside the kitchen of an Olive Garden in Williamsport, Pennsylvania restaurant last Friday. He then plunged into the deep fryer, the Mirror reports. Lincoln County Fire and EMS Service claimed the man reportedly removed his clothing before jumping head first into the fryers. Pennsylvania State Police confirmed what happened, categorizing it as a suicide attempt, and didn't reveal the person's identity. Colleagues of the man were also injured, but not seriously, as they tried to save him, including a female employee who received some burns. Police officer Lauren Leisher stated, "This incident was a suicide attempt, and out of respect for the individual and their family, we do not release information." The Olive Garden remained closed for several days following the tragedy, according to the Smoking Gun. A manager at the popular Italian restaurant chain, which boasts around 900 locations across the United States, declined to comment, citing privacy laws for the person who died and his family. Audio recordings from the fire service when the call was made over the incident revealed the desperate scene. "I don't have a lot of details. A lot of people screaming, some kind of burn victim," a dispatcher was heard saying. In a subsequent transmission, the dispatcher relayed that a male victim went head first into the fryers, noting that Pennsylvania State Police were en route to the location. Following the arrival of the initial ambulance crew, a second emergency unit was dispatched to the restaurant to assist a female employee who has sustained minor burns. She was injured while staff members, along with at least one patron, tried to prevent the cook from inflicting further harm on himself. The worker was transported to the hospital but tragically succumbed to his injuries. Elsewhere, let's see, this is my last July. Oh, Jesus. Somebody chose mozzarella bread. Yahoo News is the source. What would possess a person to want to die by burning? Help me understand. How old was the man? Was he married, had children, dating? Why would you want to go to your job and jump into a fryer head first? I don't want to laugh because it's not funny, but it's almost like it's unbelievable. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because if you repeat this to somebody, they might laugh thinking that you're making it up. Like, come on, stop joking. I'm not joking. When I saw this a week ago, I thought this can't be true. Once again, or shall I say, condolences and prayers to the man's family. Well, and after what I've heard tonight on YouTube, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, shocks me. Do you understand what I'm saying? If Mickey Mouse right now knocked on my door in a clown suit and a bottle of tequila, nothing would shock me. Nothing. This case is insane. Poor Nancy. Yeah, she's deceased. I think we know that. We're almost 2 weeks in. It's almost Friday. They're steadily working, trying to solve this crime. And by no means do I want to say anything ill about the sheriff department, because the one thing I do not like to do is blame others for their constituents' attitude or disposition. I cannot blame everyone in the sheriff's department that work in Pima County, because for all I know, some of these guys and gals have issues with this stupid man, and he's just making it bad for himself, because in the end, like I said, he has to sleep at night with his dodo bird attitude. He's the one that's got to walk around Pima County. I don't. The other people don't. He's got to live around these people. We don't live in Arizona. So he wants to walk around pouting and acting like a little bitch. That's on him. But one day, let me tell you, because this shit always comes back full circle, he better hope he's not in a situation similar to Nancy Guthrie. Because if this is how he behaves, you understand what I'm saying? He wouldn't want this done to him if he was sitting here trying to fight off a burglar, home invasion. God forbid he's in the Walmart having a heart attack or a stroke. Or choking on a piece of bread at the damn Texas Roadhouse. You know, you treat people the way you want to be treated. Well, Huff, he knows that. He's not experienced. And then, like they said, you got to have experienced detectives. A detective cannot get experience if he's not detected. This was the perfect time for a detective to gain experience. That's why they send you to courses throughout your career to keep you abreast on technology, techniques, ways of handling, irate citizens. You working on your demeanor, your response. That's what these people are supposed to be doing while they're serving the taxpayer. And this is just sad to me. This just, it's what I always say, what I hate about small town America. Places with sheriff departments, you see a lot of this bullshit. He's living in a bubble like it's Mayberry out there in Arizona. Because one minute you hear people say, oh, it's a small town of 500-some thousand. Oh, we got 1 million. Well, which is it? Because 500,000 is a lot of people. 1 million is more than 500,000. So what the hell are you all talking about? You all want this image. Yeah, I'm going to say this on the slide because somebody out there in Arizona needs to hear this. You stupid motherfuckers are trying to act like this is fucking 90210. You want to portray this image of, oh, we have the astrology program at the university. We sip tea and cheese on Thursdays, and we go over here on Saturdays to play golf. And stop it. Just stop it. You look stupid. Your stupid your ideology about stargazing and don't want street lamps. Oh, we don't want light pollution. Well, maybe had you had some lights on, somebody would have thought about not going to Nancy's house. How about that? How about that? Maybe somebody drove by and said, whoa, too many lights on this street. They got too many damn lights in this street. We got to go farther out. It's the perfect setup for a robbery. I'm surprised you all don't have more crime since you all have been bragging so much about Tucson, Arizona. We are so close here. We all look out for each other. Oh, it's a wonderful place to live. Oh, we like to stargaze. Nobody's sitting stargazing in that fucking heat. Stop it. The people in Tucson are doing what everybody else is doing in America. They're watching fucking Netflix at night. Bullshit. Why didn't they take their horses and try to see if she was in the desert? They are only looking now and needing the kid, honey. And listen, it is because of the FBI. They found that first glove. That's what this Doh-Doh Sheriff needs to understand. These people came in to help, and they are on their job. Because I don't think he and his agency would have found that damn glove. Let's just keep it real. And I won't doubt that that glove is the glove. And common sense will tell us the glove left behind was probably in the mix of blood and God knows what else. It's no telling what the crime scene looks like. Because this man has been hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. So you don't know how to take him. You don't know to believe what he's saying. He has to retract every damn thing. And I think he may have wanted to come out and tell us how bad it really looked in there. But he didn't. He's had to retract who took Nancy home. How are you going to retract something that you said out your own damn mouth? Oh, Donald Duck took her home. Well, no, I take that back. I take that back. One of Donald Duck's friends took her home. And even the people at the press conference was like, what the hell is going on? What is the big deal? They either took her home or they didn't. Who's the person that called to say she didn't go to church? I can't say. I don't know. If I didn't know any better, I would think the sheriff and TMZ are in it together. What do you think? Harvey, is there something you want to tell us? Because I've had just about enough of you, and I definitely now have had enough of the sheriff's department. No offense, but paid to search regardless of the cactus. Oh, I did not know. And I guess too, when I look at the people searching, and they don't go up in the brush, first thing I say to myself is like, oh man, they're not going up in the brush. So how you know there's not a dead body in there? Naturally, you're going to smell a dead body. Even if it's 2 weeks old, you're going to smell it. And you'll just follow your nose. This is terrible. This is terrible, and this has to be terrible for the family. And this is something that the family does not want to hear, is that the sheriff's department and the FBI are at odds. Exactly. Thank God the FBI is there. Amen. Pardon my French tonight, but I was really irritated because, as I said, I was going to come back on to talk about the guy who tried to kill him, who killed himself by jumping in that pot of grease. And I was going to give myself, time to rest a little bit. And then as soon as I started watching this video, some told me, don't turn that YouTube on because you're going to get pissed off. I was stunned at what I was listening to. I was like, I know I'm not hearing what I think I'm hearing. Why do you want to do this when there is a woman missing? But see, this is what's wrong with us as people. We can act like this when the story is not about us. You said what? And not to mention the buzzards. We can act like this when the story is not about us, right? We don't know the Guthries. It's not our mother. It's not our grandmother. We're just outsiders looking in. And that's basically what the sheriff is doing. While he was sitting up there putting on like he was on stage, look what he's turned and done to the FBI. That's okay. I don't want your help. I don't want your help analyzing the DNA for the gloves. I'm going to send it to Florida. I'm going to do it my way. I don't like the stuff y'all are saying about me. Please don't make me start acting stupid up here on this live. Yes, TMZ, they're guilty as well because they're aiding the foolishness by these Bitcoin scam artists. It's been a long time since Queen has been animated on a live stream where I like to mimic people, such as what I would do with Sebastian's mother. I used to love to cut up with you guys. What that sheriff did was amateur. Well, Sky, I got a feeling he's going to find out the hard way because this is what usually happens to little children when they don't listen. And mommy told you to stay away from the stove and you kept playing around the stove. He's going to get burned. That's exactly what's going to happen. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to be bad. While we're sitting here watching all this stuff unfold under the Arizona sky, it's going to be a damn shame if that guy decides to creep in somebody else's damn door. Because what you have to always remember, Whether you think this is personal, a hit on Nancy, or just a random person or somebody that knew Nancy, the point is they are walking free. And they have now gotten a taste of what I think is MURDER. So while he is watching the news, he sees that these agencies are at odds. This could give him ammunition to go out here and put on another ski mask and gloves, if you get my drift. Because he may say to himself, well, I've got time. Maybe I won't mess up. And he did mess up because people have been saying that. Maybe he left something behind. I'll be damned. He left a glove. What about that? So he's going to start feeling like the sheriff. He doesn't like these things we're saying about him. He's probably in his feelings too. Him want to suck on a lollipop because he not happy with you too. They're saying horrible things about me. Because you didn't have no business going in that woman's house. So this is what people need to understand. It's things like this that could drive this monster to go back out and do a repeat. And we don't want that. And the sheriff, he's not thinking about that because the sheriff has his thumb up his ass and he's on an ego trip. But the point is there's a woman missing and people are probably scared out there, especially her neighbors. And if they don't know what it's about, they're, in their minds, they're saying, well, who would kill, who would want to unalive an 84-year-old woman? Hey, I got to get my security tight. And they're probably scared because they know it's dark out there. There's no street lights. They got to illuminate the drive with those little lights you put in the dirt. You got to buy you some lamp posts. They probably can't stand, but yay, so tall without you getting sighted by the city or the county. This is bullshit. Because if I recollect, Nancy had a lamp post in her yard. Exactly. They think they've gotten away with it. And that's my fear now with this nonsense with the FBI and the sheriff. This guy's probably now saying, okay, round 2, let's go back out. Let's do better this time. Because I told y'all, I think most of us are going to be shocked when you find out who it is and that it's not what you think it is. That it's not personal. It's not somebody that hired him from the family. Just some random bum looking for a thrill ride. Let me see if I can do it. Let me see if I can get away with it. Because that's usually what true crime is about, is it not? Adrenaline rush. They have an appetite for destruction. And perhaps that's all this case is about. Somebody has been wanting to unalive a human, assault a human. They wanted to get a taste of blood, and they did. And they are walking free right now. And that's what we need to be focused on. Apprehending this fool before he goes out here and hurts somebody else. Now, before I check out of here, I want you all to tell me, what do you think about this guy jumping in this hot oil, killing himself? What in the hell was going on? What could be so terrible that you would want to, one, unalive yourself, but then kill yourself like that? I can't understand. When I read it last week, I said, oh, they got to be making this up. There's just no way anybody would do this to themselves. Hot oil? Have you ever touched a hot stove, grabbed a hot pot, and you're on with your fingers? Okay, now imagine your face is in hot grease. You have seen grease bubbling up in a restaurant when they drop the fries down in there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. I just watched a video before I went live where it was a short. And they were in the kitchen of a restaurant, and the guy took one of the little baskets with ice cubes and dropped it down in the hot oil. And at first it didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden it was like a volcano. It just started rising, rising, rising. And honey, it just bubbled up over the stove. Now I'm trying to imagine somebody putting their face down in hot grease. And then people are jumping in trying to save him. And then what's even more crazy besides the act, he pulled all his clothes off. He must really hate himself, because to me that's self-hate, to want to burn yourself alive like that. Lord have mercy. That's all I got today, everybody. I'm tired. I won't say I'm angry. I'm agitated. That's why I don't like talking about true crime every day, because it's too much. And my last live was 3 hours plus long. Did not plan to go that long. This is bad news. I wonder what does Savannah and her family think of this debacle. Maybe she'll call them up and have a little chit chat with them. I agree, some of these folks are sick and may return to another home for a high, if not them a copycat. Yes. Oh my, I didn't see that. I can't watch much. It's too much. Thank you, Quinn. You're welcome. Yeah, that's the fear. I mean, we see this all the time. People trying to outdo the last person. You know, we have copycats every day. Somebody hears about somebody creeping through somebody's window, breaking and entering, and then they decide to say, well, you know what, let me see if I can do it. And now with all this Bitcoin nonsense, I hate to say it, there'll probably be another copycat similar to this. They already arrested 2 young teenagers over there in Scottsdale, Arizona for home invasion and some type of cryptocurrency fraud. Maybe that's where this person got the idea from. I don't understand how you can have your whole life ahead of you. You're young, and these are the things you're thinking about doing, breaking and entering. That's something else I wanted to ask you all on my polls. I'm going to go over my polls and I'm going to check out of here. How old do you think the perpetrator is? I did not put it on a poll, but I will when I end this live, or I'll do it while I'm live. How old is the perpetrator? Say whoa. Anybody got any ideas? How old is the perpetrator? 20s, 30s, 40s, 50? I asked you all too about, should the school board give Tommaso Scione paid leave until he is cleared from this case? Jilly Doll says, I voted no, because if he is working, police will know where he is at least part of the day. Okay. Weigh in, everybody. Take the polls on my community page. 30s from the photo I saw, or 50. Right, because I think this is an olive-skinned person. I do not think this is a white person. That's just my personal opinion. Could be white, but I think it's somebody possibly Hispanic. Because, you know, there are white people who have dark hair, dark eyebrows, but I don't know. My feeling is telling me it's a Latino. It's not a Caucasian person. Could be wrong. All right. Has someone called in a tip of the right suspect in this case? %20% yes, 20% no, 60% not sure. Is the perp scared? 40% yes, 40% no, 20% not sure, He should be 0%. Did the Nest cameras taken from outside record audio and the crime inside of Nancy Guthrie's house? Yes, 0%. No, 25%. Not sure, 75%. Do you think Nancy Guthrie has cameras inside of her home? 45% of you said yes, 36% of you said no, 18% of you said not sure. Did the perp know that Nancy Guthrie had cameras? 13% yes, 38% no, 50% of you all said you're not sure. Did the perpetrator know that Nancy had a famous daughter before the home invasion and kidnapping? 38% yes, 13% no, 50% say you're not sure. Does Savannah think her sister and husband are involved in the disappearance of their mother? 17% says yes, she thinks they're involved. 50% of you said no, 17% of you said not sure, and 17% of you said at least one of them. Wow, wow, wow. I just don't know what to say. How did the suspect enter Nancy's home? Front door, 20%. Back door, 50%. A window, 0%. Not sure, 30%. Should the school board give Tommaso Scioni paid leave until he is cleared by the FBI in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie? Yes, 43%. No, 43%. Not sure, 14%. Once again, the reward is now at $100,000. Also, the video released by TMZ pertaining to the guy with the backpack on and the backpack in his hand has been deemed non-relevant to the Nancy Guthrie case by the FBI. Wow. Once again, check out my latest content on the facts, theories, why she was removed from the home. Is this a sexual assault? And what are you talking about? Is this a sexual assault? Number one. Why was she removed from the house? Who is the suspect? Does he know her? Don't know her? Random home? Stay woke. And also, there has been an arrest in a student who was attacked a few years ago on the subway, an acid attack. The perpetrator has been apprehended and arrested. Please follow the story of Derek Todd Lee. He was the Baton Rouge serial killer. You can watch it on, I guess, Tubi or Fandango at home. It's a very good commentary. And the reason why I want you to watch it is because, as I told you all before, many people think it's family involved. Could we, or some of us, be wrong? Could it be this was a sexual assault? And that is why she was removed from the house, as to destroy DNA. He played in Tommaso's band. You can see the resemblance with the person under the mask, eyebrows, and scar upper. Okay. I was trying to watch Strategic YouTube channel where he had one of his chat members doing an overlay, but it wasn't enough for me to make a decision because I didn't The overlay that the person didn't show the lips. I need to see the lips. I need to see the lips. Which one is the one you're speaking of? The short one or the tall one?
We got a lot of emails about this, about the pacemaker, because they keep going back to Annie and Tomas's house, and that could be because Annie and Tomas are suspects, or it could be because Nancy was there earlier the evening that she disappeared, and they think there's more clues somehow to glean. Many people have wondered, is it possible that they think she died there, that Nancy was killed earlier than we think, and that she died there. Now, I think that fell apart when we saw Abductor Man ringing the doorbell or messing with the doorbell. Like the story that an abductor showed up is not fake, and I just don't believe there's any way she was killed earlier in the evening.
Right.
Because
of the pacemaker.
Tell me what you know. The pacemaker would have shown an event. And a lot of people have been writing in saying the pacemaker doesn't stop just because the person's killed. Well, I know that, which is why there's some remote chance that if you took her phone and turned on the pacemaker app and started walking around Tucson, you might actually connect with the pacemaker even if Nancy is no longer with us.
Okay.
And the odds are slim. You have to be, I've heard, any place from 10 feet to 30 feet.
Oh, so it does work even if the person's dead. Okay.
I'm not saying that the pacemaker, it's not about whether the pacemaker goes dormant when the person has died. But I have yet to find a cardiologist or anesthesiologist to tell me anything other than if the heart has any sort of a major event, including that it stops beating, that it wouldn't communicate that
to the pacemaker. Oh, to the phone.
So obviously there'd be no communication after 2:28 on the night she went missing because they had stopped syncing. But prior to that point, we're told by law enforcement they were syncing. There was no problem with the pacemaker syncing with the phone. And so even with a delay in download information, like if the last information went at 2:27, it might take an hour or two for it to actually download that onto the phone because I guess there's some sort of a lag in the delay. You wouldn't know if the heart had stopped beating, if this patient's heart completely stopped. I just can't get past that. And clearly, law enforcement agrees with me, or this whole thing is a wild goose chase. If that sheriff, and I'm sure he spoke to the pacemaker doctor, to the cardiologist, and knows exactly how it works in this case, there is no way the FBI would be putting us through all of this if they really had reason to believe she died, that Nancy's no longer with us. Why would he be saying, I have to believe she's alive, that she's still out there, talking with the family about doing the hostage videos? We got a lot of emails about this.
I don't know, Megan Kelly. Somebody commented under Megan's video that said, you are correct, Megan. My MIL passed recently and she had a pacemaker. The doctor who put it in called to see if everything was okay because the signal pattern was irregular. They would know if something happened. That's how they can get a time of death from the pacemaker if someone passed. Interesting. Somebody says, yep, I've been screaming something similar from the rooftops. Anytime there is an event where the pacemaker records any event, my dad had many, it records that info and sends it to a monitoring system that would trigger someone to call him and see if he was okay. Many times dad didn't even know there was an event his pacemaker responded to. Who monitors Nancy's pacemaker? Good question. Nobody. Now somebody says, where's the video of her getting home? That's a good question too. If they were able to retrieve the video of the man coming to the door at 2 o'clock in the morning, will there not be some type of video of Nancy being brought home earlier in the evening? Very true. Somebody says, take that app with pacemaker and drive around slowly. That's a good thing. That's a good idea. Because you're already telling us you want them to go, the sheriff and the FBI agents, to walk and travel about 2 miles. So somebody should have Nancy's pacemaker. I mean, not a pacemaker, but the phone and the pacemaker app or whatever, and walk the 2 miles little by little to see if you get a hit on the pacemaker. Somebody else says, my thought is hook the Apple Watch to a drone and fly it around both homes. Somebody says, the drone is a great idea. We'll split the reward. Man, everybody's coming up with some interesting commentary. Somebody says the pacemaker is the event. Yes. Somebody says they stated at one time that there was a spike in her heart rate after the time of the doorbell alert. I haven't heard that again, but that was the original report. So she was obviously alive before, after 1 a.m. and before 2 a.m. After that frame, she's still alive and well. This investigation was and has been a mess. God help citizens who depend on law enforcement and that sheriff. I will say the same, Miss Carol. Rebecca says, I need to let you know I'm a retired Walmart manager. Ozark is a Walmart brand only sold at Walmart. We are able to pull sales on the Ozark backpack SKU. It will tell us sales, how many sold, and dates, possibly times. Then we pull camera and watch that Ozark SKU being sold at the particular cash register. Exactly. Because that's how good old Walmart works. That's why you can go in many stores, and if you still have the SKU on the item, and let's just say you're trying to get some money or exchange it for something else, and you've had it over 3 months, 6 months, they can tell you when the item was bought, if it's been reduced, because Ross is good for that, reducing their items at least 30 days after you've purchased it. So you may have gone in and paid $15 for the dress. By the time you decide to take it back, they'll tell you, oh, we ran this, the dress is only $10. Very interesting. Somebody said they should have never revealed that she had a pacemaker. Well, somebody says it's all a distraction. They should take drones and fly them around and see if they pick up the pacemaker. Not sure if it's possible. Somebody says pacemakers do not contain GPS or cellular tracking technology. They are saying most of it is from Walmart. Well, this is what's going to happen, hopefully, if these people with this stupid Bitcoin would go away somewhere, crawl in a hole. Somebody recognizes that jacket, okay? Just like somebody said earlier today. This person is so stupid. Tucson has this ordinance, right, about the light pollution. Everybody likes to stargaze. You are breaking in houses with reflectors on a backpack. I'm not trying to laugh, but it is funny. You're out here committing a atrocious crime, and you're so stupid that you're walking around with a backpack with reflectors on it. This person must be high on dope. Go back and look at the video. Backpack lights up. So somebody knows about the backpack. Somebody knows about that jacket. Somebody knows that walk stance. Somebody knows that eye structure. Somebody is sitting next to a KILLER. All I can say is I'm going to pray for you. Because just like you're going to notice signs that this person is acting peculiar, weird, you're going to start thinking back to January 31st. He had to go out for a midnight run, or he said he went to the gym, whatever. You're going to start putting it together. All I'm going to say is, see Jane run. Pack up your little overnight bag. Get all your little toiletries and devices and get your ass out of there. And go run to the nearest FBI office and let them know, I am sleeping with the enemy. I fear for my safety. And I'm here to collect a reward. Okay? Because there's no need in you coveting this thing. And if I find out you've been laying up with this monster, knowing that he's committed this crime, oh, you know I'm going to give you the business. Because there's no way I'm getting ready to sleep with no KILLER knowingly. And the one thing we have learned about people who exact these type of crimes, they cannot keep a secret. They have to tell somebody. So I won't doubt this dodo bird has gotten high, geeked up, high on some tequila, and he done told somebody. Yeah, you know that lady over there? The one everybody looking for? I did that. Oh, stop that, Roscoe. You know you ain't did that to that lady. It was me. See, sometimes you got to stay woke. Because one, you know it's not good humor to joke about unaliving somebody. And if you're in a company of anybody that's joking about unaliving Nancy, you need to kindly remove yourself. Okay? You need to kindly remove yourself and go to the nearest police sheriff's department. Preferably the FBI, not Sheriff Nanos department. I'm just saying. Because I don't know who's going to be working at the front desk. They might have the damn librarian working the front desk. I'm being very mean tonight. He should have worn camo pants. We called not very bright. Yes, he should have wore all black. Most people get all black. Black pants, black shirt, black jacket, black shoes. And depending on how he unalived her, if he made a mess, you know, you're going to have to throw all that stuff away. But like one guy said, people are so stupid, they'll keep the same clothes, too cheap, don't want to throw them away, and just throw them in a washing machine. So you think you're with the KILLER, you need to check the dirty clothes. You need to check the hampers, washing machines, anything that don't look right, anything looks similar to the jacket, the backpack. Like I said, run like hell. Run like hell. And as many people are saying, even if there was no reward, you should want to tell, because this could be you we're talking about. And you would want people to do the right thing, whether there was a reward or not. We've got to stop doing that. Only speaking up when money is involved. This is a horrible situation. And as I said, it has taken a toll on me talking about Nancy. I just don't like talking about kidnap stories. I don't even watch kidnap movies. I don't. I've never liked watching kidnap movies. I don't like talking about stories where children are being sexually assaulted. Those are stories I usually bypass. I can watch a murder mystery or documentary, but I don't like anything about children being kidnapped. I don't care for the stories about children missing. And I don't like kidnap stories. Why? I just don't. And this case is serious to me because one, I'm a female. And what I tell myself, if it can happen to Nancy, it can happen to me. I'm not exempt from true crime. And that's the message I always pass along to you all. Please do not get so comfortable to where you think something bad could not happen to you. Because I'm sure in a million years, Nancy never thought someone would break into her home and violate her in the most disrespectful way. And once again, if this is not personal, it's even more devastating, random. It's just devastating either way, really, random or personal. I don't think I need to weigh either one. Because it's kind of like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Who wants to be thinking that their own family don't like them, want to get rid of them for money, estate, insurance money? And the one thing you have to remember about that, if either of those kids have insurance money on Nancy and they got rid of her, Nancy has to pop up in order to collect. You're not going to get any money on a missing person. So a lot of you keep saying that you think it's personal, but you got to use common sense. Who has the money? Savannah, not Nancy. And I don't think this is a ransom because it is not adding up, the ransoms either, and these love letters to TMZ and the news station. Something very, very wrong. And it's not making any sense. And the fact that anyone would take advantage of a woman missing to try to get free money is very sick and ill. And as you see, Savannah has not put any money in the pot. She never came up with a reward. I think they said she came up with a $2,500 reward. Some people were very negative about that, saying it wasn't enough. She's a millionaire. Why didn't she offer a reward when her mom first went missing and realized she was missing? You have to ask Savannah that. Why didn't she bring out a reward when she first realized her mom was gone? Because once you went in the house, there really wasn't anything to debate about, because if the sheriff told us it was a crime scene, how is it that you missed that it was a crime scene and you went in her house to check on her? You knew something wasn't right when you went to the front door, when you went inside. You saw what happened in there. So far, nobody's leaked that out, what Nancy's house looks like inside. Since people like telling Banfield stuff about prime suspects, what does the house look like inside? How bad is it? People are curious to how he got her out. I said, well, he carried her out. He dragged her out. What was in the backpack? Don't know. But it was full. You know something else I thought about that backpack? I said, what if he had already been robbing somebody else's house and he went to Nancy? Just saying. What if he had been to somebody else's house? What if he had an itemized list? I'm going to go over here to this house. Then when I'm done over here, I'm going to go over to this house. What if we find out, hell, somebody else is laying up deceased in their house or missing? Just saying. Because that backpack was awfully full. Some of you believe that was change of clothes, crowbar. Could be. Rich or not, that family is grieving. The whole thing is sad. Yes, well, I hope they are in. And that's the thing about true crime cases. It's easy to judge people, you know. She didn't do this, he didn't do that. Why do they look like this? Who smiled? Who laughed? Who frowned? Who grinned? You know, that's all everyone's been doing is chopping them up in the videos, I've had a few comments myself about how this one looked, and this one was too stern looking. But as my property manager said, everybody grieves differently. Everybody behaves differently, and that is true. Most men don't cry. Even when they see their mother or father in a casket, they won't cry. But this is why I said Banfield should have never put that information out. Because let's say, for the record, Tommaso and Annie have nothing to do with this crime. Somebody has hurt their mother. And this can also, as I said, do damage to a person's reputation. With different people talking and gossiping, saying that they have hurt her. And sometimes you can't return from that. Because sometimes when people set in their mind that they believe you have done something, that's their belief. Even without any proof. Oh, I think he did it. I think she did it. They did something. They're weird. She's weird. She writes weird poetry. And we start feeding on that without any proof. I'd like an end to this case. I'd like an end. I'd like an end to it, just like with the Tepe case. They investigated. They tracked them through the CCTV footage, and boom, they arrested him. We're going into 2 weeks on this one. And it's getting, depressing now with this FBI sheriff business. So I'm praying that the sheriff will get off his high horse and let the FBI do their job and keep them abreast on whatever, give over evidentiary material to these people and let them test it so it can get done and over with. Because the longer he prolongs, the longer this thing is out here walking around. And that's obviously not on his radar. There's a whole human out here walking around who has more than likely unalived a woman. And she's out here somewhere dissolving out in the damn sand. So just that fact alone shows you the sheriff don't give a fuck. Because like I said, he's not the one grieving, and this isn't his mother, and he's not the one out there missing. So he needs to take a step back and look at himself in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm doing too much. This is not how I should behave. I shouldn't be behaving this way. This is a bad look for a sheriff. This is a bad look for a human. I need to get it together. Because I know they're going to shred me to pieces. And maybe he don't care. Maybe that cop, ex-cop, whomever was talking, the commentary I played earlier during this live, he's onto something. This man is vindictive. But this goes back to what I said before pertaining to this case and people in general. You don't know people. We don't know the Guthries. We don't know the sheriff. We don't know the FBI agent. We don't know any of these people. We don't know the person who they're searching for. And it's just bad business to have somebody in control of a case that's got a hot head. Nancy deserves better than this. The family deserves better than this. And I don't want this sheriff to botch this case up because he's on an ego trip. That's my commentary. Prayers for Nancy Guthrie. Prayers for this man who unalived himself in Pennsylvania. Prayers to all the families. Prayers to the community out there in Tucson. After listening to this, I don't know if I ever want to go out there. If I go, I'm going somewhere where somebody cares for street lamps. So that will possibly be in the inner city somewhere. Because we're not doing no desert towns without no damn street lamps. No ma'am. No ma'am. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video. Follow me on the Newsbreak app. If you'd like to reach out to the Queen with some vital information pertaining to the stories I've brought to you, big.sexy.71 on Instagram. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you for following this network, the support, the kind words, compliments. Welcome all new subscribers and viewers and those who have hung around for this journey with the Queen. Praying for a resolution. Praying for it. I want to say a positive resolution, but I think the worst has already happened. So I want to pray for justice for Nancy Guthrie. And I also want to pray for all these people who are living in Tucson and beyond to please be safe. I want to say this about one of the neighbors who spoke to the news. They had asked him if he felt safe in his home. And he was saying, yeah, I feel fine. I have people to check on me, blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of stunned. Like, I think they asked if he was scared. And he was like, no. And I thought, sir, do you have ADT? Do you have an alarm on your house? Do you have Nest cameras? Do you have cameras inside? Do you have cameras that can pop off like these cameras? Because if you do, you're in bad shape. You need an alarm. Not just cameras, you need an alarm on your doors and your windows. So I was kind of stunned when he said, oh, no, I'm not scared. I think I would be. Even for a man, I would be afraid, especially if I know I do not have adequate security on my home. And I remember they also interviewed a lady last week. She was an older lady. And she stunned me when she said her cameras were down that Sunday. And they did not get back up until Monday afternoon or after 5, she said. And she said that live on TV. I just looked at her like, what the? I was stunned. I was stunned. Some creepy crawly was crawling in the desert, breaking into houses, and your security system wasn't working. Lord have mercy. And you know, many people have to be thinking, I don't have adequate security. I don't have a subscription. I don't have an alarm. I can use better windows, doors. Well, honey, now is the time to try to work on those things. Because you do not want to be aroused out of your sleep by a two-legged creature, making you get up, pushing you around, beating up on you. And God forbid the worst. You don't want that. You all be careful out there. Thank you so much. You have been listening to the Vault Exhale.